One of the big stories in the NBA today, or in sports all together, was the situation at Game 4 of the Dallas Mavericks Phoenix Suns playoff game. And Chris Paul tweeted that some of his family members had been physically touched, let's put it that way, by fans. And so the league and the Dallas Mavericks, or I should say the Mavericks, did an investigation. Here's this statement that they said. It says American Airlines Center and Dallas Mavericks security and executives have concluded the investigation into the incident involving the Paul family. 2 unruly fans attempted to give unwanted hugs and have conversations with members of the Paul family on the public concourse of American Airlines Center. AAC security responded immediately once notified by the family, and the fans were swiftly ejected from the game. The fans involved in the incident will not be allowed to return to the arena until 2023. So, Rob, there's been a lot of talk initially before this investigation. I would like to hear Chris Paul's response, and hear if his family, the ones who are involved in the incident, feel like that was, that's exactly what happened. I imagine it is. But Chris, I can't believe even fans in the stands, drunk, whatever it is, physically went after his mother and wife. I find that. Well, that's right. The investigation is saying that didn't happen. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right. Wouldn't you be shocked if that was really the case? Someone's going after somebody's mother in the stands. That would be hard to buy. Well, that's why when I, initially heard the story, right, it did seem like, wait, what? That's like somebody when they said, pushed his mom and wife, said, put hands on her, right. And I was like, what? That means fighting to me. I didn't just totally disregard it, but I thought, wow, that's really beyond. My thought, Rob, if that was the case, and I thought that's what happened initially, is that I thought that those fans should be ejected for life. Banned from games at the American Airlines Center. Period. If you touch a player's family, particularly the females, then I think you got to be gone. There has to be a strict punishment. But apparently that's not what happened. Yeah. At least according to this investigation. Yeah, and now that you hear it, it makes a little more sense. Overzealous, trying to do too much. Getting touchy-feely. Everybody doesn't want to be touched. Right. You know what I'm saying? Some people are like, oh, come here, Mama Paul. You know what I mean? Right. That's what it sounds like. Right. And you're like, please, I don't know you. I'm not trying to get hugged. Right. You know what I mean? Especially with females, Rob. Right. You just can't do that. You definitely shouldn't be rolling up on somebody's wife. You can't hug on mother, hugging them like that. If it's a guy and they do, you can still be, Rob, as the guy. Let's say it was Chris Paul's brother or father. I don't want to have to get into an altercation with you, right, as a fan. Because even that, Rob, guess who would catch the brunt of the negative publicity? No, right. The family member. So you got to get security there. Look, get this guy off me. But still, at least it's different with a guy. I can be like, look, sir, leave us alone. Right. We're not trying to. I just think with women, you got to be very careful. Absolutely. You know that. And especially with touching women, I just think don't touch. It's just not your place. And I've been in situations where sometimes you meet somebody, Chris, and I always stick out my hand, even to women, and then they'll be like, no, they would be like, I'd rather a hug. And then that, they've given me like a fan or something? No, somebody, you meet somebody, or it could be even somebody's wife who you never really met. Right. And they're like, you know what I mean? And they're like, my husband talks about you all the time, and I'm open to a hug, or that's cool with me. And then I'll be like, okay, rep, but I always stick my hand out. I don't assume anything. Like you should be hugging anybody. So the one thing I'll say, and again, I thought initially when it seemed like it was darn near an assault or harassment, physical harassment, I thought they should be banned for life from the arena. But
Now I would say the one thing I'll say, Rob, I don't think, if I'm reading it correctly, until 2023, to me, that's a short ban. Because first of all, they may only have one basketball game left at least this season. And then, of course, you got the start of next season. But I would kind of say it should have been maybe a calendar year or something like that. I don't know that 2023 is that big of a deal. It's still, even though it seems like they didn't mean anything by it, it just sends a message like, look, you really got to leave guys' families alone.
But the only thing I'm going to assume is, depending on who the people were, and Chris, if they did like a background, say if the guy's a 20-year ticket holder, has never had any issues, you know what I mean? I'm assuming they vetted them. This guy is like a prominent attorney in town. Do you know what I mean? Where
Rob G, was it? I mean, there were photos of a kid. Rob G, if you know any details on that?
They haven't said officially who it was, but based on all the video evidence, it looks like it was like a 17-year-old boy.
Yeah. And the thing is, though, that obviously wasn't on the concourse, right? Like, the photos had him near the Suns bench, which is where Chris Paul's family was sitting. So maybe it was that kid.
But you know what I mean? Or maybe he's from a good family.
Look, there's circumstances.
There's circumstances.
And to be honest, I also would really talk to the Paul family and see how it affected them. And they're good. I know his dad. They're a really good family. So I do think they would be sober minded about it. You know, like if it wasn't really that big of a deal, I don't think they would be like, so. I don't think they would overreact.
Because you don't want to overreact and make it bigger than it really was. You know what I mean? Right. If somebody's done something, then you should report it and let people know. Right. But if it was a misunderstanding and maybe awkward, or you just didn't feel comfortable, let people know, please, just don't touch us. You know what I mean? We didn't feel good about it.
You know what it reminds me of, Rob? You remember a few weeks back when Mike Tyson beat up the guy on the plane.
Right.
And it seems like when you read that story, the guy was a drunk, overzealous fan who was, kept bothering Mike, like, hey, Mike, just relax. Wouldn't let it go. I don't know if he meant any harm, but he kept badgering Mike. And it's like, you can't do that. He might not have meant anything negative, but, you mess with Mike. I mean, it was Mike Tyson. But that's what it sounds like. It might have just been an overzealous fan.
I think he wanted Tyson's extra bag of peanuts. I think that's where everything went wrong. Nothing. Not even. I thought, Alex, I don't get anything. I'm hanging out with Sam. Sam, we sat at the same table.
I had to find my rim shot, all right? I'm scrambling here.
We're eating short ribs, which were delicious,
so good.
Chicken and all kinds of stuff.
Why though, Rob, did you post more pictures of you than of Kevin Figures?
That's not
on
true.
Your Instagram. At least what I saw.
I'm like,
look, can I see the wedding party? Like, I don't want to see Rob. Golly.
I did send a picture. It was out there. I didn't see
Iowa. I might not seen all your pictures, but yeah. I don't recall seeing.
I got some pictures, Chris. I'll post some of me and Rob in the table.
There you go.
We'll get that up later.
All right, there you go. All right, but anyway,